Good evening and welcome. My name is Wazations once again. Day 3 of The Longing. I'm a little bit later than usual, but never mind. Today we're not going to read from a book because I'm a bit late starting and I do need to be up early tomorrow. So instead we're just going to go for a couple of bits of wonders and a bit of a chat. So let's get going. What we're going to do is walk to a random place. I will take a little stroll and let's see where I end up. Hello there, King. Sitting there, snoozing. Regaining your strength. Obviously, we're not going to reawaken the king just yet. We're going to make the daily climb up the stairs. Onwards through to another unknown area. I wonder what we'll find on our random walk today. Excuse me. And here we are, back in the, I want to say crossroads of our little realm, where we can go to a multitude of places. But I wonder where we're going today. Seems like we're going to the left again. I wonder if it's taking us somewhere new. Or if we'll be revisiting somewhere we have already been. As we plod peacefully through the corridor, with shade dropping from the ceiling. Once again, we seem to be picking the leftmost door. And again, going down the stairs at the intersection. Along the corridor that eventually leads to the dark and lonely place at the other end. Though there is, I believe, just this one corridor off it. I wonder if we'll be going through this or into the dark and lonely place again. We seem to be heading towards the dark and lonely place, with not much light. It almost feels like we'll end up here more often than not at the moment. Either that, or this is just pure coincidence. But we are back in the dark tunnel that seems to go round in weird circles. The middle one we went down first. I believe we came back through the right one, but this time we're going down the leftmost tunnel. I wonder where this will lead us. It has led us to a new area, and we are still walking past the first door and down the stairs to another door at the very left. And a new pair of doors appears at the bottom of a flight of stairs that zigzags back on itself. Apparently, that's as far as our trip takes us. Let's carry on along the bottom of these, to the bottom of these stairs and through the doorway to find out where this leads us. This leads us to another set of doors, the first of which appears to be blocked. We'll take another lump of coal and 2 flints. And at this point, we can now start a fire at home. But let's keep going through the caves and see what we can find. Oops, did not mean to go back through that door. But never mind. We're not in a rush. Let's try this first one. I recognize this one. I believe it will bring us out at the middle door of the first set of 3 within the dark areas. And I believe we might have to crawl to get out of here from this location. Or I was very wrong and it'll just bring us out on the right hand most door. So instead, let's try another random place, one that doesn't head into the dark. Here we go. As interesting as it might be to delve further into this area, let's take a moment to choose to go into the light and see what else the caves have to offer. It does make you wonder, where did these caves come from? Were they created by the sleeping king, I assume? Or were they already existent or created by someone else entirely, and we are just inhabiting these empty holes of those that once were. Either way, we are exploring and investigating, determining what our surroundings are, where things belong, and, well, hopefully we'll figure out why some things are here. We seem to be taking a similar path to the other day, where we end up upstairs, where we found the red piece of clay in this intersection. I wonder which way we'll go, or if we'll end up staying here again. Onwards we go, upwards as well. Loneliness is real. It is indeed. It's not something to be sniffed at. Many people feel lonely. I didn't realize that was a path. Oh. We seem to be in the background. And we have indeed arrived somewhere. And it looks like there is something on the floor over here. But I hope that everyone remembers, even if you think you might be alone, there is always someone there willing to listen if you just look a little bit further. Ah, a part of my instrument. If I gather all of them, I'll be able to make some music at home. I now have 2 times instrument parts. That's very nice. And now, let's have a little bit of manual wandering. Let's head upwards. The lone guardian is patrolling the empty streets. That we are. We are alone. And these streets are indeed empty. For now. Where are we? I do not know. But that will come with time, the knowledge of where we are at any given moment. I like the smell of earth. It does have a good smell to it most of the time. And it looks like there is potentially a piece of paper. This sheet of paper will be useful for my art studies. I wonder where it came from. I too wonder where it came from. And now we find ourselves in a tunnel that gets smaller and smaller towards the middle, but does not hinder our passage through. I wish I had someone to talk to, but I can still talk to myself after all. I just need to sit down for a while and sort out my thoughts, which is a very good idea. But let's take a quick look this destination over here. And once we've done this, we'll just let the shade automatically walk home. Let's continue on the right path until we get to the next door. Once at the next door and have gone through it, we'll allow the shade to return to the comfort of the armchair and the comfort of books. Now that does not look inviting. However, I do see what looks to be a pickaxe over here. But for now, we're not going to jump. We're not going to be tempted to jump in. Let's go back and see if everything is all right. Now there may be another way to get there, one that does not require jumping off a cliff. After all, that seems very dangerous to me. So we'll pitter-patter through these halls, making our lonely way back to our chair. We can potentially reattach the musical instrument part to the rest that we have already got. This will give us 2 of the 4 pieces of the musical instrument. But for now, whilst we walk back, let's contemplate the fact that the shade is talking about being lonely, and how being lonely is not a good thing when in large quantities. Loneliness can be useful at times, as it can drive you to get out there, but it can be dangerous and trap people in a whole world of loneliness on their own. The important thing that people need to remember if they ever get in that situation is that there will always be someone that they can reach out to. Even if they don't realize it, there will be someone that they can reach out to try and alleviate their loneliness. No matter how bad things get, there will always be someone willing to help. It's only a matter of time. And that it's never the time to give up on that hope. Shade is saying that they are truly alone. But as I was saying, the shade is not truly alone. We are here as well. The shade may not realize it, but we are with them, watching and observing from afar. And look, we have found another piece of, I assume, coloured clay. White coloured clay. A piece of chalk. That makes more sense. Now I'll be able to paint the pale moon that will remain forever enshrouded. Well, time to walk back home indeed. We have re-emerged. At this point, we are not far from our home. And as we make this walk, just remember, there is always someone there. Even if you can't see them, even if you're not aware of them, we are never truly alone. If you reach out, eventually someone will reach back. Another thing the Shade may not realize is that while we may be alone for these 400 days, the sleeping king, I'm going to call him a king, the sleeping king is also alone, but alone in another way. The king has only you, has only the Shade, whereas the Shade has us. Only the Shade can reawaken the king after 400 days. This will give the Shade time for some personal growth and reflection. And that is something I believe that we all need to do at some point. And here we are, back at home. And the second piece of the instrument has attached itself. The chalk is there. Oh, let's not draw. I would like to pick up the hourglass. Let's put the timer out of the way so that it's one less thing to think about. And let's get back in our chair and let's sit and stare. And with that, I'm going to call it the end of the episode. I hope you've had a good time. We had a bit of a wander, but that is all. So I hope everyone has a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night, no matter where you are. And remember, no matter how lonely you might feel, you're never truly alone. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.